Twinkle, twinkle, little star, a grand adventure through the solar system and beyond. Once upon a time, in a vast, endless space, there was a beautiful family called the solar system. This family was made up of a bright, shining star named Sun and 8 amazing planets that danced around it. Each planet had its own unique personality, and together they created a magical cosmic dance. But the solar system was just the beginning of a much bigger story. Beyond it lay galaxies, stars, and mysteries waiting to be discovered. So, let's take the longest, most exciting journey through the solar system and beyond, exploring every corner of this incredible universe. The sun, the heart of the solar system. At the very center of the solar system was the sun, a giant ball of glowing gas. The sun was like the heart of the family, giving light, warmth, and energy to everyone. Without the sun, the planets would be cold and dark. The sun was so big that more than 1,000,000 Earths could fit inside it. It was always busy, sending out beams of light called sunlight, which helped plants grow and kept everyone warm. The sun was not just a ball of fire, it was a nuclear powerhouse. Deep inside its core, tiny particles called atoms smashed together in a process called nuclear fusion. This created the energy that made the sun shine so brightly. The sun also had a personality. It loved to sing a little song. I'm the sun, so bright and true, I light up the sky just for you. Planets dance all around, in my warmth they are found. The sun had a fiery temper too. Sometimes it would send out bursts of energy called solar flares or huge clouds of gas called coronal mass ejections. These could create beautiful auroras on Earth, but they could also cause problems for satellites and astronauts. The sun was a star, and like all stars, it had a life cycle. One day, billions of years from now, it would grow into a red giant and then shrink into a white dwarf. But for now, it was happy to shine and keep its planetary family warm. Mercury, the speedy little planet, the closest planet to the sun, was Mercury. Mercury was a small, rocky planet that loved to race around the sun faster than any other planet. It was so speedy that it only took 88 Earth days to go all the way around the sun. Mercury was a bit shy and didn't have any moons or rings to keep it company. It was also very hot during the day and very cold at night because it was so close to the sun. Mercury's surface was covered in craters like the moon. These craters were made by asteroids and comets crashing into it long ago. Mercury also had cliffs called scarps, which were formed when the planet cooled and shrank. Despite its small size, Mercury had a big iron core, which made it very dense. Scientists thought that Mercury might have been much bigger in the past, but a giant collision blew off its outer layers, leaving behind the small planet we see today. Mercury's favorite thing to say was, "Zoom, zoom, I'm on the run. I'm the fastest planet under the sun." Venus, the bright and beautiful planet. Next came Venus, the brightest planet in the sky. Venus was often called Earth's sister planet because they were almost the same size. But Venus was very different. It was covered in thick, cloudy air made mostly of carbon dioxide. This created a greenhouse effect, making Venus the hottest planet in the solar system. Even hotter than Mercury, the air pressure on Venus was so strong that it could crush a spaceship. Venus loved to sparkle and shine, and sometimes you could see it in the early morning or evening sky looking like a tiny diamond. It had volcanoes, mountains, and vast plains of lava. Some scientists thought that Venus might have had oceans long ago, but the heat evaporated them. Venus also had a very slow rotation. It took 243 Earth days to spin once. Its day was longer than its year. Venus loved to twirl and say, "I'm the brightest star you see, shining down so gracefully. Look for me at dawn or night. I'm the planet full of light. Earth, our home planet, oh, Earth." This was the planet we all call home. Earth was special because it had everything needed for life: water, air, and just the right temperature. It was covered in blue oceans, green forests, and sandy deserts. Earth had one moon that glowed in the night sky and helped create the ocean tides. Earth was also the only planet that we know of with people, animals, and plants living on it. Earth's atmosphere was made of nitrogen and oxygen, which made it perfect for breathing. The planet was also protected by a magnetic field, which shielded it from harmful solar radiation. Earth's surface was always changing, with continents drifting, volcanoes erupting, and earthquakes shaking the ground. But despite all this activity, Earth was a peaceful and beautiful place to live. Earth's favorite song was, "I'm the planet where you live, with so much love and care to give. Oceans, forests, sky so blue, Earth is home to me and you." Mars, the red planet. Mars was known as the red planet because of its rusty red color. It was a dusty, rocky world with tall volcanoes and deep canyons. Tallest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons, was on Mars. It was 3 times taller than Mount Everest. It also had a huge canyon called Vales Marineris, which was as long as the United States. Scientists thought that Mars might have had water long ago, and they were always curious if tiny creatures once lived there. Mars had 2 little moons named Phobos and Deimos, which were like its tiny companions. Phobos was slowly getting closer to Mars and would one day crash into it, while Deimos was drifting away. Mars loved to say, "I'm the red planet, bold and bright, with canyons deep and mountains high. Someday you might visit me and explore my mystery." Jupiter, the giant planet Jupiter, was the biggest planet in the solar system. It was so huge that all the other planets could fit inside it. Jupiter was a gas giant, which meant it didn't have a solid surface like Earth. Instead, it was made of swirling clouds and had a big red spot. It was actually a giant storm that had been raging for hundreds of years. Jupiter had 79 moons, and its 4 biggest moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, were like its best friends. Io was covered in volcanoes, Europa had an icy ocean that might have life. Ganymede was the largest moon in the solar system, and Callisto was covered in craters. Jupiter's strong gravity helped protect the inner planets by pulling in comets and asteroids that might otherwise hit them. Jupiter's favorite rhyme was, "I'm the king of all the planets, big and strong, you can't forget. My moons and storms so grand, I'm the giant of the land." Saturn, the ring beauty Saturn, was the most beautiful planet because of its stunning rings. These rings were made of ice, rocks, and dust, and they sparkled in the sunlight. Saturn was also a gas giant like Jupiter, and it had 83 moons. One of its moons, Titan, even had lakes and rivers, but instead of water, they were filled with something called methane. Saturn loved to show off its rings and spin around gracefully. Saturn's rings were very thin, only about 30 feet thick, but they stretched out over 175,000 miles. Scientists thought the rings might have formed from a moon that got too close to Saturn and broke apart. Saturn also had a hexagonal-shaped storm at its north pole, which was one of the most mysterious features in the solar system. Saturn's favorite song was, "I'm the planet with the rings, dancing round like cosmic kings. Ice and dust, they make me shine, Saturn's beauty is divine." Uranus, the sideways planet Uranus, was a unique planet because it spun on its side like a rolling ball. It was an icy giant covered in a blue-green haze of gas. Uranus had 13 faint rings and 27 moons. It was very cold and far away from the sun, so it didn't get much warmth. Uranus loved to roll around and say, "Look at me, I'm different, and that's okay." Uranus's sideways spin might have been caused by a giant collision long ago. Its atmosphere was made of hydrogen, helium, and methane, which gave it its blue-green color. Uranus also had the coldest atmosphere in the solar system, with temperatures dropping to -371 F. Uranus's favorite rhyme was, "I'm the planet that spins sideways. In the sky, I love to play. Blue and green, I'm quite a sight. Uranus shines both day and night." Neptune, the windy blue planet Neptune, was the farthest planet from the sun, and it was a deep, beautiful blue. It was also an icy giant with the strongest winds in the solar system, faster than a jet plane. Neptune had 14 moons and a few faint rings. It was named after the Roman god of the sea, and its blue color made it look like a giant ocean in space. Neptune's largest moon, Triton, was very unusual. It orbited Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's rotation, and it had geysers that shot out nitrogen gas. Scientists thought Triton might have been a dwarf planet that Neptune captured long ago. Neptune loved to whisper, "I'm the planet of the sea, blue and wild, just wait and see. Winds that howl and moons that gleam, Neptune's part of the cosmic dream." The dwarf planets and beyond Neptune, there were smaller worlds called dwarf planets. The most famous one was Pluto, which used to be called the 9th planet. Pluto was small, icy, and had a big heart-shaped glacier on its surface. It had 5 moons, and its biggest moon, Charon, was almost as big as Pluto itself. There were also other dwarf planets like Eris, Haumea, and Makemake, each with their own special features. Pluto's favorite saying was, "I may be small, but I'm still part of the solar system's work of art." Dwarf planet, yes, but still I shine. In the outer space, I'm doing fine. The asteroid belt and comets between Mars and Jupiter, there was a ring of rocks called the asteroid belt. These rocks were leftovers from when the solar system was formed. Some were tiny and some were as big as mountains. Far beyond Neptune, there was also a cloud of icy objects called the Kuiper Belt, where comets came from. Comets were like cosmic snowballs that zoomed through space, leaving a glowing tail behind them. Comets love to sing, were the comets icy and bright, zooming through the cold, dark night. With tails that glow, we light the way for planets and stars to shine each day. The Milky Way and beyond the solar system was just a tiny part of a much bigger family, called the Milky Way Galaxy. Milky Way was a huge collection of stars, planets, and cosmic dust, all swirling together in a beautiful spiral shape. And guess what? There were billions of other galaxies out there, each with their own stars and planets. The universe was so big that it was hard to imagine. Milky Way's favorite song was "Where the Milky Way so grand, a galaxy of stars so bright and grand. Solar systems dance in our embrace in the endless wonder space." The end of our journey. As our journey through the solar system and beyond comes to an end, we realize how special and unique each planet, star, and galaxy is. From the blazing sun to the icy dwarf planets, every part of the universe has its own story to tell. The stars, planets, and moons remind us that the universe is full of wonder and mystery, waiting to be explored. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are, above the world so high like a diamond in the sky. And who knows, maybe one day you'll visit one of these amazing planets or even travel to another galaxy. Until then, keep dreaming, keep wondering, and keep exploring the magic of the universe. The end.